All right, everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the AnyTone AT-D578UV Pro. I've been able to make a software mic for it, and we're going to talk about the hardware, the cables, the ability to do CAT control, and a demo of the code coming up on the channel. So it turns out that the AnyTone D578UV uses a serial mic. I kind of thought it was an analog mic, but anyways, I've been able to kind of reverse engineer it and dump out all of the data that it transmits when you press the buttons, figure out those hex codes, and turn that into a software mic. So I'm able to control the radio completely with software at this point, and I don't need the hardware hand mic to do any of it, which I thought was pretty cool. I've had this radio for, I don't know, 2 or so years. I thought it was a really cool radio when I bought it, and I haven't used a whole lot of the DMR functionality. I got the hotspot, I played around with it for a little bit. Then I jumped over into HF and got really into that, got into digital modes, FTA, things like that, and really enjoyed, having my computer use like FL rig to essentially manage my radio. So I got used to that. And I wanted to figure out a way to do the same thing with my AnyTone after I started getting more involved with Aries and MCOM and doing WindLink, using software like that, doing digital modes. And this radio does have some support for sending APRS, but it doesn't receive it. So there's a few kind of limitations in it that I've been kind of dealing with over time, and I really wanted to see if I could get a little deeper into this radio and make it do a few more things for me. Some of the things that I'm thinking about in the future with the Bluetooth, BT01 from AnyTone, I think there might be a way to reverse engineer the display over Bluetooth and get that into software as well on a PC. If I can do that plus the controls, I think I would be really happy. So that's maybe a goal in the future. But right now, let's talk about what have we been able to do over this last couple of days with the this AnyTone over the mic port. Turns out that the mic port again is serial. And so I was able to kind of sniff the traffic, the serial traffic that was going back and forth between the radio and the hand mic. I built this crazy little RJ45 splitter and reversed one of the wires so that I could receive the transmit and receive the receive on this this janky cable that I made. Through I'm using a digirig to interface with the radio. So without the digirig, I don't think you can do this. I mean, maybe there's some other USB things you could probably do, but I'm using the digirig, which I find is a super useful piece of hardware for getting audio from a radio to a PC. It has an audio port and a serial port, and I've been looking at that serial port since I bought it and said, thinking, how can I use this thing? And so anyway, I finally got some time and dug into this, and I'm super excited to share everything that I've been able to do with you guys. So let's talk about the cable, right? The cable plugging in from the radio to the PC. That's going to be the most critical piece, obviously, to get this all working from a physical perspective. So I use digirig to do the interface between the PC and serial and the radio. That seems to work really well for me. I've talked with Dennis behind the scenes over at digirig on the layout of this design. He actually put into production the first cable design that I had on the audio side that uses RTS to trigger the PTT on the radio. So this one goes further, right? This one adds CAT capability. And so there's some wires that move around a little bit. And so anyway, here is the diagram. Also, I've laid in the digirig schematics, so you can kind of see it down there in the bottom left is the audio side, and the right is the CAT side of the digirig. So anyway, these are the tip ring sleeve plugs that you plug into the audio and the serial port of the digirig. I just use standard Cat5 or Cat6 cable to make these. I'm familiar with that cable, being a tech cyber guy, so that's familiar to me. It works pretty well. I haven't had any problems with it. Anyway, so I like that and keeps it easy. The one thing in this cable, though, I think is you do have to make a kind of an extended brown wire jumper to go on the ground side. So the serial needs to be grounded. I kind of tested it without that, and I thought it was sort of working. Turns out it wasn't. I came back after dinner and tried it again. It didn't work, and I had to figure out for 10 minutes why it was broken. Turns out that it does need that ground. So that's one thing you have to do. So to set up the CAT control, first you have to know the hex codes that we already established. You can see them here on this page. And then you have to take those codes and you input them into the CAT control file. So here's an example of VarAC. This allows you to manually control the CAT file, and so you can add a line there for AnyTone. You tell it the command type, which is hex in this case, and then there's some various commands. So right now I only know the PTT on and off commands. Future, I want to see if there's a way to extract the current frequency out of the radio, but I haven't found that yet. So anyway, you input the two PTT commands, the on and off. You save that file, then you launch VarAC in this case. You set the CAT to the AnyTone, and then you can test the on and off. So here's a quick video that shows VarAC is able to control the PTT through CAT. Okay, so the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to demo the software mic now. So as you can see on the left, this is the code and the radio, and then on the right is a screen capture of the same. It's like slightly off, but it's fine. So anyway, I'm pressing the buttons here, and you can see that the radio is reacting to the button presses. You can change the VFO, press the A button, go into the menu, go up or down to select the different menus. And then, you can kind of just see all the radio settings, that kind of stuff. You can exit out of it. Go back to the main screen here. You can press the number keys. You have to press the actual numbers. Then you can hit the PTT, and that will use the CAT commands to open and close the PTT. And on the PTT, if you hold it, then it'll react. And if you let go of it, then it'll stop. So I have my code and the wiring diagram and the hex codes in an Excel file. I'll post it on GitHub. So go check out that on GitHub. A couple of things when you run the code, you do have to hard configure the COM port, or if you're using Linux, the port that your digirig is plugged into, you have to manually change that. You can also change your call sign so that the mic has your call sign at the top there. I'll probably add like a config menu and some other stuff down the road. But this is a proof of concept right now. It works pretty well for me. Hopefully you can try it out and you enjoy it, and it gives you some more insight in things to do with your AnyTone AT-D578UV. Again, cool radio. Now it can do some more digital stuff, and now you can integrate it with your PC to manage it. So I feel like it's more interesting now, and there's a lot of application on the digital side that you can use through CAT controls. So anyway, this is Rob Fisher signing off. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe. In 73.